have me on Facebook.
As usual, not yet.
In theory. Matt, don't do me like that. Come on. You can do it. You can find it. I believe. Alrighty, and Instagram. Wow, it is Tuesday, and we got a brand new little medallion here. Matt, don't do You got me, Matt?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it is Tuesday. Well, we just got back from across the border and got done finishing, that's right, the Baja 500. And let's talk to the man himself who got the job done, the closer, the finisher.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking to you, Justin. What's going on?
Honestly, I'm really sore from this race. Not gonna lie. It was a long ass race and really, really rough. So I'm limping around here a little bit. All kinds of parts I didn't know I had are definitely sore. But normally today is Tech Tuesday, but we decided since it's only 2 days after the Baja 500 that we would talk about the race and give you guys a chance to throw out some questions about the race. And we might have a bunch of racers who are up in the top 3 sign in and talk to us about their race. And I think it's always interesting to hear what other people and other teams go through to try and finish one of these. And much less, I mean, just to try and to win one of these. And hopefully we have a couple of guys sign in that can tell you what that's all about.
I'll keep my eyes appealed. With that being said, take us
Your eyes appealed?
Appeal, yeah. How did we start out? Where did we start out, Justin?
So actually, we started out, I think, about 11th off the line. There's a little bit of a question whether we were 10th, 11th, but either way. And we started 11th, and our plan was that San Felipe. Go ahead. I thought you're giving me a...
No, there's just a couple people. So Bad Habit Off-Roading said, look at that tan face. You got some Mexican sun, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Hill Rod Film said, shake it off, old son. Mm-hmm. And then we have a good question, which I actually wonder this. Mm-hmm. Someone said you're a legend too, Justin, which I agree with.
That's a little bit too far. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna accept that, but thanks anyway.
That handstand fam said, what do you do if you have to poop during the race, Justin?
I don't have that problem. Having emptied the pipes before a race would be a good idea. I think a lot of people need to just pinch it. And honestly, if you're going through the whoops, anything and everything you have as part of you is pinched. You couldn't poop if you tried. Most people can't pee if they tried.
Well, just in the right timing here, we got Ernesto, Chapo Racing.
Hey, Chapo!
Hey, sorry you had to come in on that. We were just had a question somebody asked on how do you go poo while you're racing?
How do you
Ernesto?
poop?
Yeah, why don't you give us your advice, Ernesto?
What was that, Justin?
Give us your advice on how you poop in the race. That's a question that we got from somebody.
Well, I don't know anybody that's ever pooped during the race. I do know of a competitor here at this last race that actually had an upset stomach all night before he got on a dirt bike. And he said he was pinching his butt cheeks. Apparently he was able to hold it in, which is good.
Lucky for him, otherwise it would have been muddy boots.
Yep.
That's hot.
Muddy boots.
The visual on that's not good.
No.
I can't unsee that.
No.
But I'm going to give you a proper introduction. So Ernesto is part of the Chapo Racing team, and they are a fellow Can-Am racer. They're running a long wheelbase, almost pre-runner this race. Kind of awesome to see you guys enter in the roughest race ever in something that really looks like a car that everybody else could race.
Yeah. So this race was definitely interesting. In fact, we were kind of calling it the San Felipe 500. I know several people did. And in fact, even when they checked our car, they put San Felipe 500 on the approval sticker. So even I guess Sport is kind of internally calling it the San Felipe 500. For those people that don't know, generally speaking, the San Felipe race is the shortest of the season and also the most difficult. So they decided to do that to us almost twice this race. So it was definitely challenging. And yeah, we tried a new car, kind of a different approach from what we've been doing. We had some ideas, and some of those ideas proved to be true. And there you go, San Felipe 500 2020 right there.
And you got a great point, because it's two of the roughest races on any calendar, like we were talking about. It's not a single 500-mile race like the 500 usually is. it literally is two of the roughest races put together.
And, typically during a sport race, there's some speed zones where you get to charge your batteries back up, both the actual batteries in the car, pull down the car, take a drink, go pee. During the speed zone, and there was only 8 total miles of speed zone on this race that I know that's the shortest I've ever heard of. And honestly, I think 6 or 7 of them were just coming out of the starting line and going back in. So that was one little section of highway. So there was no breaks. It was nonstop, hard, rough terrain, very, very difficult. It was a blast. It was nice to be back down there racing in Mexico after all this time.
For sure.
So we definitely appreciated that. But it was definitely a challenging race. We kind of, I talked to you about it before the race and stuff. I said, hey, we might have a first place car. We might have a 10th place car. We're going to drive the car's ability, because if you try to over race this race in particular, you're going to be on the sidelines real quick, just because of how hard it was. So, it was very rocky. It was very whoopy. There was that high-speed salt flat section, which I hadn't gotten a chance to run before. It was kind of cool to do that. And you're really going to take care of your belt there, because no matter how fast you think you can drive, changing a belt will never be faster than just throttling back a little bit and saving the car. So it had some unique challenges to it. It was difficult. We didn't have a single flat, single belt, single problem other than a small fire during fueling.
You're talking about a small problem, and you said fire. I didn't think those two were in the same sentence.
Well, yeah, I got the video. I'll have to show it to you. I literally dove out of the car because they said, I heard you're on fire. So I just felt the heat. I was like, I'm on fire, Ricky. I dove out of the car. I didn't even put my feet down. I just dove out of the car, and then I'm like, where's the fire? And they're like, oh, well, it was over there. I was like, well, let's keep going. So we had that small fire, but actually we added up some different teams' pit times based on their tracker information. And even with 2 drivers changes, the fire in our fueling was faster than even the top couple teams that ended up winning. So we still did pretty good on our fueling and on our pit changes. Our biggest challenge was we decided to leave the car as stock as possible, while still being, considered a race car. And we left the radiator up front where they typically go. In fact, we ran the factory fan shroud, the factory fan. We just put a little bit bigger radiator in it that they sell for any stock Can-Am. And going up those 2 washes, we were going 20 miles an hour. So we did some math. I'm loving that right there. We did some math, and had we not been limping through that section, we definitely would have been had a really good shot of coming in first. So just have to take care of that one small problem, and then we should have a car capable of winning.
It's always fun after the race to kind of look at the trackers, look at what you did. You've debriefed with all of your team probably the whole way back. At least that's what we do too on the way back to the States, as to what we did good, what we did bad, things we need to change. And then you can analyze all the time that you lost in your small mistakes or small fires, and go, you know what, we actually had a fast car. And so then it helps, because you go into the next race and you're like, you know what, we're competitive. I know for a fact we're competitive if you just take out the things that set you back. And that's what Baja's about, eliminating those.
Absolutely. But it was still a fun race. 4th is before, but man, after the hiccup we had at Vegas to Reno, and after only making it 250 miles of last year's 500 while we were leading the race, we definitely needed a win to keep the morale up in the team and keep us going. So the finishing, not having a single breakdown, not pulling over for a single issue, that was definitely nice. That was a breath of fresh air, and I think it kind of motivated us to keep going and keep fighting at this, and just fix the overheating issue and go back out there and run the 1,000.
I think you guys have a solid car, and you definitely have an even more solid team. So the 1,000 is definitely within your grasp, more so than most of the teams that are out there, in my opinion. I do have a little bit of a story. So we're going through the dust, can't see anything. Cognito just passed us. I hate to admit that, but it happened. And I was kind of pissed because we were I had my water system had just yanked out of the helmet, and I knew that there was no way I could go with no water between pits in this hot race. So I was kind of hot, and I was trying to chase Lambert down. And I'm going through the dust, and then pretty much come up on a car. In my, dusty, blind opinion, it's a car, and I'm hot and bothered. And I just came up and tapped that sucker. I was trying to be nice, and I passed it. As I passed it, it was you, and I was pissed because I'm like, damn it! I didn't want to hit them. We could turn to your frequency and go, hey man, what's up? And then after the race, you sent me a text and said, hey, where do I send the bill for the bumper to?
It was pretty funny. I thought trying not to give Chapo more information than he needs to know during the race.
Right.
He didn't know it was you guys. So
Good.
well, here's what happened. I don't know if it was the same on your end. The push to pass button came on, and literally you could count to 3, and bam, we got hit. So he pulled over. You guys passed us. He actually thought it was Cognito. And then we got back on course, and then we're going, and your helicopter's flying overhead. And then I said, oh, let's check out the shock therapy helicopter. He's like, oh, it's probably a different helicopter. I was like, well, he's following the shock therapy car. And he goes, well, shock therapy's in front of us. I was like, what do you think hit us? Shock therapy. I was like, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Just call him and tell him, yeah, it was my mistake. Then it wasn't actually us. It was Cognito. Blame it on him. Yeah, for sure.
No, I like that. Tell you another quick little story. I took an IV tonight before the race. You know what? This story's probably not appropriate for.
It's okay.
It's okay. We don't have anybody watching us at all. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. I took an IV with they call it the banana bag. It's got all the potassium and minerals and
Banana bag, huh?
Banana bag, really?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I took it the night before the race, and never done one before. We decided to try something new to see how it helped with hydration. I ended up drinking 300 ounces of water in the 500 miles, which is nearly 10 liters of water. It's quite a bit of water.
Yeah.
And about my third time I went to use the restroom, third time I had to go pee, my hose was kinked, and I felt my catheter, start filling up. And I just said, oh, well, it blew up. So the entire rest of the race, I peed 10 liters of water on me, minus whatever the sweat was.
After your catheter blew up in your lap?
It blew up in my lap. all the minerals and all the vitamins in that banana pack that I had the idea for. Your pee smelled so horrible.
His banana pack exploded.
The banana in his lap, literally.
Yeah, literally.
It was pretty bad. I mean, we hung my race suit up in the trailer that night. We opened up the trailer.
Been there, done that.
I love it, man. Thanks for that story. People always ask us how you pee, how you poop, what do you eat in a race? And, none of it's easy and none of it's fun. But when all the things that we try to do to make that easy fail, you piss your pants, period. And you don't eat. That's what happens when you got to do what you got to do.
There's an old saying, Ernesto, you ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
I have no idea where that saying came from, Chase. I'm pretty sure there is no such saying, and that's just from you.
Hey,
That's strictly Chase.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
That's a fictional character.
Okay. Ernesto, thanks for signing in, man. Love the stories. Apologize for the bumper. You guys killed it. You really ran a really long, consistent race. Finished it. Oh, right on. Good job.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, take it easy, man.
Have a good one, Ernesto.
You giving me the sign? Steve's giving me the sign. What do you got, Steve?
So Clay Fouth said, does shock therapy have a friggin' helicopter? Justin, does shock therapy have a helicopter?
So the truth is, yes, we do. We don't talk about that stuff much, but we do, and we take it to races. And I love flying, so that's pretty much the two reasons for having it. How about that?
And then
You will see it more now that we've actually unveiled it. Now that it's public, you're going to see it at a lot of events. You're going to see it at all the races.
Somebody asked, can you tell us about the chopper real quick in the background?
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
wanna
Chase.
show 'em it?
Well, if Chase stops doing somebody else's job, which is actually Steve and Matt's job, and actually you maybe aim it at stuff, No, stop, Chase. Chase, stop looking through the comments.
No, I'm not doing it.
Yes, you are. Stop
I'm
it.
looking for somebody very special to help us talk about this here.
No, just say it. Go, hey, who is it?
Hold on. And he's gone. We got a fish hook going up in the air.
All right, cool. So you guys asked about the helicopter. Here you go. It's a shock therapy helicopter. Pretty much gets flown every day or two. And we are taking this to the races. We're going to give you some excellent content. Lots of video from every single race car. So, oh, wait. We have somebody that has something to do with the helicopter right now. I'm guessing this is Dominic.
Is that Dom?
Dom, what's going on, man? Where are you at?
What car do you have? What's your question? Right, Chase?
Yep.
Well, so the answer to that is Dominic has a helicopter, right? Hey, turn the volume up, man. I can't even hear you, Dom.
You there, Dom?
Can fly a helicopter, can't operate a phone.
Can't operate the phone, but he can fly the hell out of a
We
helicopter.
can't hear you, Dom. Maybe take your hand off the bottom of the phone. There you go. We got you. What's up, Dom?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm going to give everybody the proper introduction. This is Dominic. He is our helicopter pilot. He is also my instructor when it comes to licensing for this stuff. And Dominic pretty much has 1 million hours in every helicopter in the worst conditions, flies EMS, rescue, I'm going to say some of the oil industry, Mexico, everywhere. Dominic's done the hardest stuff with the biggest helicopters and the smallest ones. So with that introduction that you can never live up to, Dominic, how's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm currently in Denver, going through some work training out here. I sent you a picture of the simulator, but
You're doing simulator work, and this is required every once in a while to update certs and stuff?
yeah, we go with our company. We do it once a year. We do the actual training in the actual helicopter every 6 months, and then the other 6 months we go into the simulator where we get to practice all kinds of stuff that we don't get to practice in the actual helicopter.
So, do you get to practice really cool stuff? Like, can you fly them upside down and stuff?
Well, I tried doing that today, and the screen turned red.
It said, I'm pissed off, you can't do that.
Danger, Will Robinson.
The instructor in there was like, what was that? I said, well, sometimes just got to try to fly in first.
Dom, take us through your Saturday. How was it chasing?
Yeah, talk to us about the race from a helicopter.
So Saturday, wake up. Actually, I was awake all night because I was so excited. couldn't lay still, and then plus we had Tony sleeping next to me. So
Yeah, sawing logs.
That's all.
so wake up, try to help as much as I can, get in the air, and my first Baja race. So I don't know how I'm gonna find Justin. So then all of a sudden here's, "Hi Dominic," and it's Jeff on the radio. It's like, oh, there's Jeff. So found you guys, chased you guys, loved it. The view up there compared to down there is night and day.
Well, when you say night and day, what do you mean?
So like, and the people that have cars, when you're going through the books, you're like, okay, I can, let's say like sand highway plans. They're big books. They're huge. You know how fast you can take them or hit them. But when you're up in the helicopter, they look flat. So it's like, holy smokes, he can just haul butt right here. Well, and then as I see you going through them, they're like 4.5 feet deep, and you're like, holy crap, how big are those whoops? Like, Mexico is no joke.
Yeah, the perspective from above doesn't lend any kind of like scale to what a car's going through. It's really hard to understand that until you see the car working its ass off to do 40 or 20 or 60 or whatever that section will let you do.
Exactly. Like when the first time I talked to you about it, you said, oh, we average about 40, 45 miles per hour. I was like, wow, that's, these things do 90, 95, maybe 100 over. But in reality, after seeing those looks, there's no way you can destroy them.
it was pretty cool watching the people who were blitzing everything, and then they would be broken down a few miles later. And then how cool was it, Dom, to actually watch the top 5 people? It was such a close race, and everyone stayed in such close proximity of one another.
Oh yeah, watching Matt Rockenberry, Ernesto, and you just back and forward, you passing him, and then we were yelling in the helicopter like, "Oh no, you hit him!" Chase is back there. That's our guy. And it was just so awesome to see it. And the perspective is just amazing.
You know, from up there you can see all the lines in San Felipe because there's so many giant washes that are, you know, half a mile wide with 10 different lanes, and you find like 5 cars all the same spot in different sections, and they all meet together and then become dusty and then spread out. And different lane choice is huge.
Oh yeah, when there's 3 cars next to each other, everyone's trying to take the fastest line, get out of the dust, so everyone splits up, floors it, and whoever gets to the single track where they all meet is pretty much the winner, and then the dust hits you guys and you have to slow down a little bit.
Right. Dom, I think Steve's got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Hey Dom, how are you?
Good, Steve, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I got a question. So they asked Justin, like, how do you pee and poop when you're in a race car? How do you pee and poop in a helicopter?
Gatorade bottle.
Gatorade bottle. That's talent.
Ooh.
Poop
That's
too?
No.
That'd be pretty talented.
That'd be pretty talented.
Although I do know Dom has an excellent talent. You're not supposed to text and drive, but I've seen Dom text and fly like a pro. I think the technique is one finger through the control, and then the other ones are just texting away while he's flying.
So I got a story for you. I was with Dom in the helicopter this whole race. The only time I got nervous is what Justin was saying. Dom started texting at like 3,000, 3,500 feet up in the air. And I'm in the back seat, and it's for the first time the wind is starting to kind of manipulate us a little bit. And I'm freaking out beyond all belief. I think that Dom doesn't have the situation under control. He's texting people, looking at his maps, figuring out who's in front of Justin, doing anything but flying
It's Mexico. Do what you want.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But Dom, there's no one I would trust other than you after this weekend.
Thanks, Chase. I was a little worried about you, but you managed.
I think Chase was a little blue every once in a while, and he brought his own purple puke bags, which he ended up not using,
Not
barely.
one. I brought all, that was my whole goal, is to just not try to use.
Did you take Dramamine before?
I did.
Okay,
I
did it
cheated.
help?
A ton.
Okay.
The drugs helped.
Okay.
Awesome, man.
Loves the Steven Brandon as well.
Exactly. Hey, Dom, loved having you there. It's going to be a every single race occurrence. Can't wait to have more stories with you involved in them. And finish your training so we can go back flying.
Yeah, we'll be there soon, and you guys have fun and enjoy it.
Thanks, man.
Later, Dom.
Have a good one. Take it easy.
Later, Dom.
What do you got there, Matt?
Well, last question I received was Kevin Walsh wants to know, how do you all mentally prepare for a race?
Mentally prepare. So if it's Mexico, then my preparation happens during the pre-run because we can think about the racing, we can document all of the course, we can think about our pits and really get ready a couple of days in advance and study it. That's how I do it. Now this race we didn't pre-run at all, so there was no prep, we just showed up and went. Not sure if that was better or worse for me personally. Don't know what the other racers do. Maybe we can ask them when they sign in. We might have a couple other guys sign in while we're on the feed. So hopefully that helps out. What do you got, Matt?
We're back.
Okay, Frank G. Life. Meanwhile, the autopilot was on the whole time. He just doesn't tell you guys.
I know. He's probably telling us how amazingly hard it is, and meanwhile he's just looking around like with his arms crossed going, damn, this thing flies by itself.
It's a Tesla.
Yeah, it's a Tesla.
It flies itself.
Yeah, of course it is. So, if you don't have anybody else to talk about stuff or answer questions, just so you guys know, I'm gonna wrap our race up pretty quick. We started knowing it's rough, so we're gonna chill out for the first half of the race. At least up until 160 miles, we were just kind of relaxed. We went back and forth with Murray a couple times. Awesome racers, super clean passes. Had some people pass us. We passed a few, passed a lot of broken guys. At 163rd, 3 miles, we were third, and we started 11th. At 220 miles, we had a secondary clutch freeze up on us, which locked us in a 40 to 45 miles an hour max speed because of the gearing when you have no secondary clutch. So we had to go a max of 40 miles an hour between 220 race mile, 220, to the pit at Borrego at 280. So we went 50 miles at a max of 40 miles an hour. Got passed by a few people, pulled into the pits. The pit crew killed it. Everybody was involved, all hands on deck. We got a front shock changed out because we had a bent shaft. We had the secondary clutch changed out. We got full of fuel. We got all our water, a bunch of other little details handled in 12 minutes. That's got to be a record, and I know Chase has video of it. He'll probably run through it with you guys. We'll actually post some of this stuff coming up. At that point, we thought, hey, we might be able to still be in this race. We might be able to catch Murray's in second and Matlock in first. And over the next 100 miles, we picked up our pace and we caught up to the Murrays, passed them, and we actually passed Wayne while his car was broken. And we led the race for another 60, 70 miles until it got darker and I hit the only rock within, I don't know, quarter mile in this section was 100% sandy whoops, and I hit the only rock in it and ripped the front spindle apart. As a matter of fact, we'll go over here and show you the spindle. But we changed the spindle after the crew brought us another one, and we were down for a little over an hour, and that hour cost us not only the win, but we finished in 6th place. So that pretty much was our race. I still haven't gotten over the fact that we had the win within our grasp for many miles. We had quite a lead over second that we were trying to manage and just get it to the finish, and then I throw it away. So it might take Jason Murray told me it's going to take a year to get over it, at least until we race the 500 again. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, because it really hurts. It hurts because the team puts in all the effort, and we put a lot of effort into it, and I feel like we threw the win away. But here is the spindle that we destroyed, and we will show you video of the car going and hitting this rock. But you can see here is what the bottom of the spindle is supposed to look like with the clamping mechanism and pin, and we broke that whole lower portion out, and so that spindle kicks out, it's hanging on the upper arm, tire turns, and you are done. So we had to put another one on it to finish, and like I said, it took us a little over an hour. Some of the other parts that we kind of went through on the car as the car's being prepped, it already has, new arm, new joints, new front diff. We're working on shock rebuilds. We're working on rear hub assemblies. All that stuff's already been done because we do not have very much time for the next race. World Championships in Havasu are next week. So this car will be fully prepped this week and tested this week for us to go to that race next week. So front arms, diff, brakes, we've got drive line. We're going to keep the same engine and tranny in it as this race. We're going to check some of the electronics that we wanted to modify in the car. We're going to check all connections. We're going to go through axle and CV, rear hub, and that's pretty much it. It's going to be a quick prep, this one, just turning the car around in 3 days to make the next race. We're excited for the next race because our pace was pretty good at the 500 at least. We thought it was good enough to win with Wayne having a problem. And we'll see if Wayne chimes in or if Jason Murray does too.
I've been searching for him. I got Mr. Matt Burrows. I keep trying to send a request here, but I have not seen the Matt vlogs.
All right, well, they must be busy. I called them like 10 minutes ago and said, hey, if you guys aren't doing something, then come on in.
I'm going to send Matt a request here. We'll see if we could get him on the hook here.
All right, very good. If you guys got any questions, then shoot.
We got quite a few coming in here on Instagram.
Yeah, we got a couple. So, are we going to be in Glamis from Panchilo 88? Yes, we are going to be in Glamis over Halloween.
It is.
I don't know the dates though.
And I'm going to pull the dates for you right now. So we will be in Glamis working Thursday the 28th through Saturday the 30th. Thursday the 29th through Sunday the 1st. So October 29th, 30, 31, October 1st. That's when we're working. So come by and say hi if you want an appointment, and give the shop a call and talk to the guys up front. I do not know if we have any more openings. You might be a little bit behind.
I think we're fully booked. I could be wrong. We might have maybe one slot for Sunday. And then Frank G Life wants to know, what's up, Frank? He said, beadlocks or no beadlocks in the dunes, Justin? I say beadlocks.
Well, I run both. I prefer a beadlock if your air pressures are down, but lately, the more that we run UTVs in the dunes, the higher the air pressures are going because the UTVs are heavier and you're running them through a G-out that we don't want to bottom the car out in. So on my personal car, I don't run beadlocks and I run the pressures high, and I've never lost a bead. Pressures being high like 12 to 16 PSI. If you run 6 to 8, you're gonna have to have a beadlock. How about that?
And then here's a question for Matt or you. The Off-Road Syndicate said, you guys did a great job in Oklahoma, Matt. But are you guys coming to the UTV takeover in Coos Bay?
We will not be at Coos Bay, but we will be in Utah.
Okay, perfect. Ryan _K _ Mitchell. When will you have the IQS ready for walker shocks, Justin?
It's going to be a long time, man. We have to actually redesign the bridge, and we might end up making our own bridges. So I'm going to tell you, it isn't happening in the next 3 months, maybe 6. So don't count on it right now, man. Don't go buying a walker car thinking you're getting IQS on it right away. Don't do that.
Jay Hupp, any thoughts on Polaris's new news on electrification? Electrification. Any thoughts?
Don't know what that would be.
I don't know what that is, Jay Hupp.
So is that electrification of shocks, which would be like dynamic stuff, or other things like electric car? Electric car would be like, Tesla, Nikola, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't have any.
It is a heavy car.
I've seen the Nikola car. It's 4,500 pounds. It's never going to be a viable UTV.
It's also like 60 grand.
Yeah, to start. 60 grand to start, and like up to 80 and change.
Yeah.
So it's a cool go-kart in Dubai.
Yeah.
James Morgan 7734 said, can I be on your team?
Okay, there is a rigorous process to be on our team. First, you have to be able to drink a case of beer a day. Second, you have to be able to perform after drinking that case of beer a day. So if you'd like to come in for an interview, which requires that you drink that, then please sign up. Go to jobs@shocktherapist.com and send us your resume, which would be maybe you drinking a lot of beer, and then we'll call you.
Yeah, and then you got to go through me after that.
Yeah, and then after Steve, then it's going to be Darren, then it's going to be Tony, and then it's going to be my brother, and everybody's going to have to approve you, because the only people that get on the team, number 1, are willing to put in the hard work, number 2, can take the time off of work to go and do what we do, and number 3, have to give everything to the team and care about us finishing, because that is our goal.
So Jay Hupp and Mr. Sparkles ended up talking, saying they did a partnership with Zero Motorcycles, and Zero Motorcycles is all electric, so it sounds like they're going to do an all electric car.
Oh, well, I'd love to see it.
I haven't heard of that, so I don't know.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I think that it's a bit of a pipe dream until we have viable prototypes that we can all see. Sounds like fun, though.
Yeah.
I'm kind of an electric fan. I'm not like
I'm for it.
Full tilt, save the environment. We're burning race gas all the time. Okay, I like the environment, otherwise we wouldn't have places to race. But I do love electric stuff because I think there's a ton of horsepower and a ton of acceleration and a ton of really cool stuff there. And I think it's going to explode in the next few years, and I'm excited to see what happens. And that's coming from a drag race guy who loves burning nitromethane and nitrous.
Hell yeah.
Whatever we can burn to go fast.
Couple more random questions, Justin. Nick Martinick said, are there going to be high clearance radius rods, chromoly or billet aluminum?
So first off, we're going to be doing billet high clearance radius rods, and we're in the process of that. We don't have a chromoly version at the moment it's planned. After the billet ones, then we'll probably do a chromoly one.
The Off-Road Syndicate said, glad to see you guys support Firewipes. Great company.
Yeah, Firewipes is badass. Environmentally happy wiping your parts.
Oh, it's that type of wipe.
Well, it's all kinds of things, actually.
Oh, okay. I got the wrong impression.
No.
It was Matt's on fire. I throw this wipe on him and he's not on fire.
So here,
it's
let
like
me.
a different type of friction fire.
Let's be accurate, because I don't want to
Spicy food?
Yeah, I don't want to blow their marketing out of the water. Okay, but there's carcinogens that are cancerous that get on your body when you go into a fire. Firefighters, right? and they get cancer. So they can wipe that stuff off without putting more cancerous stuff on them by cleaning it. And I believe that's where the name came from. But they are marketed to all industries. So they can clean the dust off of you. They can clean the poop off of you. They can do all kinds of cleaning, because
I need some fire wipes.
if you can take cancer off your skin from being in a fire, you can certainly take some poop off your hole.
That's radical.
Right.
I wonder if Chapo used that when he was peeing on himself to clean himself afterwards.
After the fact, I hope so.
I wonder if he used some fire wipes.
You know, how fun would that be to be in the middle of 3-foot whoops, just bouncing off of bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, and this catheter-sized balloon of pee that's been building up decides to go blam, and that's in your lap. Think about that. Oh, and then by the way, you're going to still pull off 6 or 7 more hours of off-road racing like that.
Was it hot? Was the weather hot, or was it?
Oh yeah, it was 100 degrees and probably 90% humidity when we were by the coast. And when we got off the coast, the humidity dropped on the lake beds. But now you're on a dry lake bed, so it's hotter, a little drier, and everybody's trying to go 100 miles an hour. And we saw a lot of engines and belts let go
there.
on the lake bed. And there was also, actually, it was so dusty because there was no wind. The dust just sat there. On the lake bed, the trail that everybody had to follow on the lake bed was 100% dust the whole time. So, how many of you would like to go 90 miles an hour in an off-road race, or on the freeway, 90 miles an hour, and close your eyes? Or let's just say 90 miles an hour in a fog bank that you can't see your front bumper. And just trust that there's nobody ahead of you. Trust that there's not someone that wrecked and you're going to hit them. Trust that there's not some concrete pole saying, here's an obstacle that you're not supposed to hit, and you hit the pole. Or
the only tree out in the middle.
Exactly. It takes a bit of a leap of faith. And in this race, actually, there was a chase truck from a 10-car team going the wrong way on the lake bed. And one of the cars head on them, and then another car hit them. And it was kind of a big deal. So if you want to take a look at those videos, they're all over the place. But you know, mistakes happen, and when you're blind going fast, there's nothing you can do about it. That's for sure. Just part of the game. That's why off-road racing is not that easy.
It's the thrill, and that's why you do it.
Thrill of going
racing.
blind?
Yep.
Of driving blind?
That's what he
racing
said.
blind?
It's a different type of thrill. That's a completely different.
Monster Matt, I'm mad at you right now for not accepting my request here to go live, but he does have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your top speed on the lake bed?
Mine?
Yep.
Oh, we kept it down actually. Maybe 85 or 90 miles an hour. We probably averaged 80, 85. The reason was we drove the car to a belt temp and just kind of managed the belt temp at one place. We didn't care to go 100 miles an hour. We did not care if we went 60 miles an hour. What we cared about is not stopping on the lake bed to change a belt. That's all we cared about, because if you can change a belt in 5 minutes, then that's an easy one. If you can change a belt in 15 minutes because it's wound up around all the parts, you can't make up the time. I mean, you have to go 190 miles an hour to make up the time for a belt change. So we just figured it was smarter not to have an issue, and we drove kind of relaxed and maybe slower, that's for sure. And Monster Matt, sign on. Let's talk about you.
He's got another question.
And your race.
What was your
I'm not
belt
answering
temp?
his question until he signs on.
What was your belt temp?
So we got a dude that's, fanning out of you, Justin. His name is John._Z. He said, I'm a fan with star eyes. You and I love everything related to your life personally or on Instagram. I like it a lot. I'm very happy to see this.
What's his name again?
John._Z.
John._Z. I'm sorry, man, I'm not gay.
He is taken.
Yeah.
And
taken.
And she bought him a helicopter. So good luck competing with that, my friend.
Oh, man.
Monster Matt, I'm not telling you what my belt temps were until you come on. Sign on.
You made him blush, Justin.
Put on a hat, take off the robe and the pajamas. I know you're at home. Just let's sign on. What do you got?
So I sympathize with Ernesto from that. So, you know, my experience with that
You got a lap full of pee story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parker this year.
Oh, really?
We were in line to start the race. Got 2 cars back from the start line, and I thought it would just feel better for the start of the race. And needless to say, I felt that catheter start to inflate and let go, and got to start the race and do the rest of the race with a wet seat.
I got a question, because I dumped the race. When we're talking catheter, is this an internal catheter or is this an external catheter?
It looks
Matt
like
can describe it as a rubber.
It looks
I'm not trying to be
looks
funny,
like a
like-
condom,
Okay.
with a straw coming out of it.
Okay.
With, remember those old water weenie hoses you would use, going all the way down your leg and out by your foot.
Okay, so it's not an internal like.
No.
I was supposed to say.
See all these racers doing that. We're hardcore.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, we do have a question from Shiler_1228. He said, "What is the biggest tire you can run on an XP Pro?" I think that the more question should be, what is the biggest tire you should put on an XP Pro? Because you can go as big as you want.
Yeah, so
You see the
I mean,
tires.
you
I mean, you can go as big
so
as you
on a Pro you can fit a 35 and it doesn't hit anything. So a 35 would be the biggest one that clears. But the biggest thing I would run on one is a 32 or a 33. The reason is a 35 is so heavy, has so much leverage, it just tears parts apart. You're gonna have axle issues and hub bearing issues and front diff issues and arm bushing and arm mount issues. I would definitely stay 32 to 33. Short story right there.
Right on. Yeah, I don't have any more questions, Justin.
Okay.
Matt has declined me.
Telling you,
Matt, I am so sorry, bro. What the hell? Why aren't you on?
Come on. Congratulations
Say
on your
something.
win, though.
Come on here and tell us about winning.
Can I be chased real quick?
Tell us.
Hey, I bet you his belt temp was at least 69 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. Good one. Matt, you got anything? Hey, if you guys got no questions, then we're out of here. There's no reason for us to be here anymore if you're not going to sign on or even talk to us.
Hey,
just say.
Says Wi-Fi isn't strong enough to come on.
That sounds like a bad excuse.
And we're
So
frozen
next
on
time, go
Facebook.
down to Starbucks and sign on to the Wi-Fi, and then come on in and talk to us. You can tell us all about the race. It doesn't even matter if we're talking about racing. We love to hear about people who win. That's you. So, all right, we're out of here. Tech Tuesday turned into Race Tuesday. Our Baja 500 turned into a sixth place race. We're proud of finishing with everything that had to go on. We are upset about throwing the win away, but we will be back. We're not going anywhere. And at the UTV World Championships in Havasu next week, we're going to be there fully stacked and ready to go. After that, we've got Parker. After that is the Baja 1000, and we will try to beat up Baja a little bit more than it beat up us this time around. If you guys have questions about the parts that we make, then give us a call at 623-217-4959. I promise that's not my cell, which I did give out one of the other videos ago. Or if you want to buy some stuff right away, then go to our website at shocktherapist.com and we will ship it as fast as we humanly possibly can do. Thanks for tuning in to our feed. We will see you Thursday for Throw It Out There Thursday, and we have not decided what jokes we're going to call, but they're going to be good.